You can't go here. It's pretty well known that map design in TF2 will hint to players that an area is out of bounds, normally with some kind of prop barrier. Very rarely is a visual used, normally reserved for respawn rooms. Quite a few months ago now, I asked for some examples of spots with interesting barriers, and have included some I know as well in this video. And now, I finally got around to making it. What can I say, I'm busy and I put things off. The hydro barrier is pretty well documented, so I won't go into depth about it. It even has its own commentary node. Aside from the hydro barrier, my second thought were these fences on 2 forts midsection and lobby areas. These tall fences appear in a lot of maps. In theory, a soldier, demo, or any other class that can jump could get over these. But as the player, we know we're not supposed to, so we don't bother. Dust Bowl has multiple areas that in theory, a lot of classes could jump over, but don't. The design of the map makes it very clear where we can and cannot go. The aforementioned fences are here, but so are these areas that are not part of the gameplay. There's also this corner with low fences on stage 2. There's also a few parts on stage 3 that seem like you weren't even supposed to look at them. Before we move on, is Epic Stickman brought up what I think is this part of Dust Bowl. I believe these are the remains of a second path to the point in this area. It's even textured a bit, which is a bit unusual for an out of bounds area. Vanilla8956 mentioned the cubby on Badwater. Not really what I meant, but it's worth pointing out. To be clear, there's nothing behind here. While we are here, let's take a look at the cliffs along Blue Spawn. They're reachable during normal gameplay, but are blocked off anyway. Not much is going on behind here except a bunch of red rocks. Badwater also has these tall fences again. Applejack has these small fences basically any class can jump over. It's actually quite impressive how we as the players just tune out that fact. Going past them shows these trees, and in fact a lot of props have no collisions out here. But the chickens are strong enough to carry you around. Similar to Applejack, Harvest has these fences around its perimeter. Elite Teal 2188 brought these up when I was asking for options. Just a bit bigger than an engineer, these mark out the game area. Going past them shows some lovely hills. Water is another common barrier. When looking at water barriers, I instantly thought of Shark Bay and its sharks, preventing you from going far out. No clipping past shows us the details we would normally not see up close, and a barrier is here, so even if you play a jumping class you can't get through. Aquarius has these large underwater barriers that are large enough for a player to swim through, but are blocked off. Going beyond the barrier shows us areas we normally wouldn't be able to see. Some of it is not modeled, but other parts are. Pier is another map with water barriers. These rope ones around the map could in theory be jumped over, but there's not too much behind here as most of the interesting stuff is actually in the skybox. What's more interesting is this area near the final point. There's this picket fence that leads to a side street. It's also stopped by these spur things I forgot the name of. Near Red Base is this tiny barrier that hides a side area and the base of the Ferris wheel. In normal gameplay with a bit of luck and timing, after the card explodes you can jump on this pier behind red spawn and run around before the round resets. Also in blue spawn, by kill binding in this spot, you can fall into the canal below.
Mission begins in 60 seconds.
Staying on the theme of water, Grandpa Swood mentions the buildings near the point in Slime. An out of bounds area is simply roped off. Going behind reveals not a lot, just a standard out of bounds area. Alongside the ropes are these docks in the out of bounds area. Bionicle Mac 300 provided a few. The Groot Keep has some interesting barriers. In blue spawn there's a low fenced off area behind the players with some targets. No clipping behind shows a path with some tire tracks, hinting things may not be as medieval as they should be. There's this posted off staircase in red spawn. The mercs are so polite they refuse to use it. There is also a room with a computer in it on the other side. Another sign things aren't really that medieval. Not a lot behind the staircase. In addition, this waterfall area at the side is closed off by a large boulder. Most of this place appears to be made up of boulder props with no collisions. There's also this weird spot on point B. The Groot's Halloween counterpart uses grass as a barrier.
3, 2, 1.
The weird spot is still here as well. Another mention by Bionicle Mac 300 is Coal Town. Unrelated, but when I booted up, the scout was not having a good day. We have this gate near spawn that most classes could easily jump over. There's a few similar fences around. As well as this area robots spawn in from, but that applies for a lot of MVM maps. Many of these are the same for Ghost Town, including this death drop similar to the one in Pier. Finally, they mention under red spawn on Manworks, I sure hope he does, where you can do a similar killbind trick to fall into this lower area normally off bounds. And here's one of those rare examples of a respawn room visualizer outside of a respawn room. But I guess this is technically the robot's respawn area. Pokemon 5699 mentions that behind a blue spawn on Hoodoo's first stage. Blocked off by an ambulance and a minecart, the Ambo doubles as a resupply locker. And finally they mention the excavation sites on Lazarus, which I think are these areas behind the sides on both spawns. This might be the lowest barrier I've seen so far. In theory, any class could jump in here, but of course, we don't. Now to finish the video, I'd like to talk about a map you can get to an out of bounds area in. On the event version of Lakeside called Ghost Fort, you can see the Loot Island skull beyond the barrier. Normally, everyone's too preoccupied by Marasmus to focus on this, but once he's defeated, players can teleport here and see where they were earlier. And that's it for now. I'm skipping a lot of maps to keep this short, and I'm not going to make a video jumping at every single fence I see. It's interesting to see how mappers have managed to make it clear where the game starts and where it ends. It's one of those things you don't really think about too much until you notice it.
Mission accomplished. Thanks.